Let's play some hockey. Stars Blues Game 3, series tied at 1. Well, Blues wins have been nail-biting finishes.
History, Jeff. Okay, your game will be the opening game of the Nat Stadium.
Clearly, the Wizards are not the same team that they were in the beginning of this season. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with. You could see the defending champions here tonight playing a back-and-forth game all night long. And they say that basically he influenced, Muhammad Ali, and he said, listen, would you...
A second, but I just wish that you could elaborate a little bit more about what it felt like to go through that elimination game, and given that opportunity this year, how would you guys do it differently? And if you both could answer the question, I'd appreciate it.
Well, differently is coming into this season without having knee surgeries and everybody being healthy. That's the key for our team. Hurt.
He left 93 seconds into the first quarter. He collided with a teammate and hurt his left knee. Don't know what's going to happen for the future with the playoffs, but anyway, Kevin Durant never returned back to the game.
Hey everybody, I'm Alina Neves, courtside at Capital One Arena, where the Washington Wizards, who are 9-5, take on the Miami Heat, who are 6-8. Now, as you know, the Washington Wizards beat the Heat in Miami, so tonight's going to definitely be a revenge for the Miami Heat. And the big scorer tonight was Bradley Beal with 24 points and 8 assists, as well as Otto Porter. Well, he had 23 points. He was just extraordinary tonight, very clutch. And Thomas Satoransky, who's in for John Wall, he's still out dealing with his knee. Well, he had 10 assists. He is definitely stepping up as their starting point guard. Anyway, a great win. Talked to Scott Brooks. He said tonight the game plan was just basically to step up defensively and to make the 76ers make mistakes. And that's exactly what the Washington Wizards did tonight. A great game and a much needed win for them, especially in this series. They tied up 2 apiece now with the 76ers. Important game as they approach playoffs and playoff seeding. Washington goes down to Cleveland in first game against the NBA champions at home, 95-104. John Wall finished up with 28 points while Markieff Morris had 20 points. It was a great night for the Wizards despite the fact that they were without their shooting guard. Bradley Beal had injured his hamstring in the game against Boston. He had to sit this one out. A tough one, but one that the Wizards could definitely build momentum from as well as be proud of. All right, yes. Hello and welcome. It's your girl, Alina 7. Welcome to The Hustle. We have such an awesome show today, okay? We really do, because I have some friends of mine that are on the show. In particular, Derek Smith, who is on the show. He's a really good friend of mine. And he and his partner, co-owner of the Washington Fusion mixed gender semi-pro basketball league in DC is about to kick off their season. So it's going to be live in DC, and I'm just real excited to have them on my show today, and some other stuff that we're going to be doing. So a lot of fun today. By the way, I decided to wear like my hair curly today, so it's a little all over the place. So forgive me if I'm always fixing my hair, but you know a girl can't be on camera looking bad. So anyway, it's going to be a great show today. Now, the show comes on the heels, obviously last week I was talking about the death of Nipsey Hussle and how it touched me. And then we learned like some other things going on in that case that were just as disturbing as just knowing that he was killed and under the circumstances that he was killed for. And so what we learned is that allegedly the perpetrator who may have shot him, because I think he's pled like not guilty or something like that. So, he's going to fight this charge. But anyway, from what we understand,
he shot at Nipsey Hussle, and then left the scene, recognized that Nipsey did not have his security in place, came back, shot him more, left again, recognized there's really nobody out here to protect Nipsey, okay? Came back, shot him in his head, and then kicked him in his head, okay? How cruddy can you be as an individual to have done something so cold-blooded, so outrageously heinous, and just, I mean, that, it's just outrageous to me that somebody could have done that or could have been that mad with an individual that was doing such good in his own community. And if it has to do with the fact that this individual was not signed and wanted to get signed or whatever, it just goes to even more of the ridiculousness of this particular case. So I learned that throughout the whole week that I've been kind of following this. And it's so sad, especially for somebody that was doing so much. And Nipsey was doing such incredible things in the community. And a lot of people may have just thought of him as a rapper or somebody in the hip hop industry, but they don't realize how much good. This guy had a science and technology center for kids in his community. He had housing for low-income residents. He paid for funerals. He paid for basketball courts. He paid for just totally reinvigorating his own community and taking his wealth and reinvesting it in his community, Slauson community in California. So it's really sad. It's so sad to know that this individual was so positive and so incredibly giving with the opportunity that he had, and maybe to the extent that he was not signing somebody to his label for whatever reason, was the only reason why somebody might have taken him out, which is really sad. So I just say that, I hope that, and I know that they're going to do him right, and they're going to feature him this week. I believe in California, they're going to have a memorial service for him, I believe at the Staples Center. And I think that they will definitely feature him in a way that his legacy will be able to live with the class, the style in which he conducted himself, the love of his community, and just who he was as a person. Because let me tell you something, people with his kind of money and his kind of access don't have to do anything. They don't have to go back to their community. They can take their money, their wealth, their fame, and go right out to the sunset and only care about themselves and do right. And trust me, others have done it. So he didn't have to do that. It's really sad. It just saddens me to know that no one, and by the way, he was at his store, from what I understand, because a friend of his had just gotten out of jail and needed clothes for like a job interview or something like that. And that's why he stopped over there with no security or anybody, just to get some clothes out of his shop to give to this guy, because he was just getting out of jail and didn't have any clothes. Okay, so that's really what he was doing, and he lost his life as a result of that. So really saddens me that we're not further along as a community, and that somebody could act so inhumanely to another individual who was doing so much good for his own community, one that he probably is a part of right there in California. So it's just absolutely sad. But anyway, I do have, that's on the Nipsey Hussle. And I know people are like, gosh, you've been talking about it for 2 weeks. We know. But, it just kind of saddens me. And it's just really, it's just mind-blowing to me how he was treated in his own community. So it's just outrageous. And if I can, I'm always going to say to take care of yourself. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're questioning certain things, gosh, just take the time to process information, check, and recheck, rethink, and give yourself time to process information and don't react so quickly. And I don't care who you are. Just think, and rethink your decisions. And that's really what we got to preach to our own people in our community, is to remember, somehow find your life and don't take someone else's life from them. Find your own life. But anyway, as I move on, there's something to celebrate. I don't have my boot on. Yes, for 4 months since December, I have had a cast boot on my foot. And I finally got it off yesterday. So that's why I'm in a boot at 80-degree temperature, because I can't wear heels yet. So I'm just happy to get it off. Most people don't know this. I was attacked by a German Shepherd in December. I was in a client's basement, and the grandchild let the attack dog in. Didn't know I was in the basement, and the dog came down, and I was embedded in the basement and had to do whatever I needed to do to save my life. And it was a very traumatic experience, one that I am happy to be alive. He attacked me, but I got away. My arm was in his mouth. My other arm was fighting him with everything I could find, and I pulled the tendon in this arm, and I broke 2 toes and all of that stuff. But I am here. I'm alive, and I survived. So anyway, so I'm here to celebrate. Can you imagine this happened to me? And I was due to kick off the hustle in like 2 weeks later in January, and I get that's right. It was the funniest thing, but I'm here to tell you I survived it. German Shepherds are no joke. They don't play. That dog came after me. So I'm here. But anyway, we have a great show, and I can't wait to bring my guest up. They are 2 co-owners of the Washington Fusion Mixed Gender Semi-Pro or Pro Basketball League. I'm so excited to feature them on my show. Derek Smith and Dwan Summers are getting ready to come up. So I'm going to take a small break. I'm going to bring them up on stage, and we are about to sit down and have some serious fun. We're going to talk to them all about what they're doing. And their team is getting ready to kick off their season. I don't know if you guys know anything about this league, but this league is kicking butt. They're kicking off. I think this is like their 2nd season or something. I'm going to ask him, since they debut, Master P owns this league. And it's been, they're just the bomb. So, but they'll be able to explain it better when I bring them up on next. So don't move. Don't change your internet station. Stay right here. Tune into the hustle. Alina 7. I'll be right back with my guest. Don't go. Let's play some hockey. Stars Blues Game 3, series tied at 1. Well, Blues wins have been nail-biting finishes.
History, Jeff. Okay, your game will be the opening game of the Nat Stadium.
Clearly, the Wizards are not the same team that they were in the beginning of this season. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with. You could see the defending champions here tonight playing a back-and-forth game all night long. And they say that basically he influenced, Muhammad Ali. And he said, listen, would you...
A second, but I just wish that you could elaborate a little bit more about what it felt like to go through that elimination game. And given that opportunity this year, how would you guys do it differently? And if you both could answer the question, I'd appreciate it.
Well, differently is coming into this season without having knee surgeries and everybody being healthy. That's the key for our team. Hurt.
He left 93 seconds into the first quarter. He collided with a teammate and hurt his left knee. don't know what's going to happen for the future with the playoffs. But anyway, Kevin Durant never returned back to the game.
Hey everybody, I'm Alina Neves, courtside at Capital One Arena where the Washington Wizards, who are 9-5, take on the Miami Heat, who are 6-8. Now, as you know, the Washington Wizards beat the Heat in Miami. So tonight's going to definitely be a revenge for the Miami Heat. And the big scorer tonight was Bradley Beal with 24 points and 8 assists, as well as Otto Porter. Well, he had 23 points. He was just extraordinary tonight, very clutch. And Thomas Satoransky, who's in for John Wall, he's still out dealing with his knee. Well, he had 10 assists. He is definitely stepping up as their starting point guard. Anyway, a great win. Talked to Scott Brooks. He said tonight the game plan was just basically to step up defensively and to make the 76ers make mistakes. And that's exactly what the Washington Wizards did tonight. A great game and a much needed win for them, especially in this series. They tied up 2 apiece now with the 76ers. Important game as they approach playoffs and playoff seeding. Washington goes down to Cleveland in their first game against the NBA champions at home, 95-104. John Wall finished up with 28 points while Markieff Morris had 20 points. It was a great night for the Wizards despite the fact that they were without their shooting guard. Bradley Beal had injured his hamstring in the game against Boston. He had to sit this one out. A tough one, but one that the Wizards could definitely build momentum from as well as be proud of. And on a side note, LeBron James, he finishes up with 20. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Hustle. Yes! And I got my friends with me. This is Derek Smith to my left. Yes, and Dwan Summers. As I told you, co-owners of the Washington Fusion.
Yes.
Pro?
Yes.
Semi-pro?
Athletes pro.
Mixed
all day
gender.
long.
Oh, pro. All day long.
long.
Thank you for correcting me. Pro. Yes, you heard that. Mixed gender basketball team. Anyway, you guys, I'm happy to have you guys on my show once again.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for
That's
having
another
us.
one at somewhere else, but now we're here.
Yes, yes, always a pleasure to see you.
Okay, so tell me, where are you guys with your team? Where is the team right now in terms of, I know it's getting ready to kick off their season, so just tell me what's going on.
Yeah, well, for those that don't know, the Global Mixed Gender Basketball League is GMGB, we like to call it.
Oh, GMGB.
GMGB.
Okay, like BGB.
GMGB though, right?
Only a woman would say that, but anyway.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity for men and women to come together to compete together on the same team against one another. It's co-ed basketball.
It's co-ed basketball, so
Co-ed.
that means that it's how many girls, how many men, who plays the one, who plays the two.
Yeah,
I mean, how
yeah.
does that work?
Yeah, so the first quarter you're gonna have 3 females, 2 males. Second quarter you have 3 males, 2 females. And so it's really a big deal. I mean, you ask most women, do they think they can compete with men? Most of them gonna say absolutely. They just never been given that opportunity.
Well, basketball player.
You feel me?
Yes, absolutely. Wow. So what do you think about that? When you first heard the concept, were you kind of like, like, wait a minute now, because I know you're a trainer and stuff, you know. So
You know, for me, as soon as I heard about the concept, it was a no-brainer. I was very intrigued, me and Dirk, when we heard about it, because that's something, that's never been done, but yet necessary. You talk about men and women, having the opportunity where they can, be on the same playing field, getting the same, look, consideration. You talking about equal rights,
And
gender
paycheck.
equality,
And
so,
paycheck,
that for me, that was, one of the things that really resonated because, again, equality. And I think women and men, specifically women deserve the same rights as men. And this is the opportunity where they can actually get that.
get that.
so
Yeah, because it's like right there in your face.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
We need the queens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And not just any male and female players. We talking about former WNBA, NBA players playing together. We had some young ladies from the Mystics on our team.
Wow.
Nikki Teasley is our coach. For those of you that may not No, Nikki Teasley went to North Carolina, won an NBA championship with the LA Sparks.
Okay.
with
DC's
Lisa
own.
Leslie.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
DC own.
DC's
yeah,
own,
Yeah, so
yeah.
she representing big time
She's
Washington Fusion.
Oh wow, and she's the coach there.
Yes.
Okay, she had a great year. I mean, she's had some.
And she had a
really-
nice career. Yeah,
Yeah,
she had a real nice career.
Very nice career.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have a lot of experience. She brings a lot of experience, I'm sure, to her coaching.
Absolutely, and not just Nikki Teasley. For those of you guys that are local basketball hoop fans, Bernard Robinson that went to Dunbar, was freshman of the year at Michigan, played in the league for a
Yes.
couple of years. He's our director of basketball operations. And we also have BJ Chase. BJ Chase was the everything at Dunbar and
Yes,
assistant coach
yes.
at Bowie State University. Does a lot of hoop stuff locally, and he's our director of player personnel. So we got some real great support people at the table with us to really make this thing really special.
Wow, you know, BJ didn't say that when he was on the show last
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah?
Yes,
He must
was
be
like-
saving it.
He's very humble, man.
He's
You know,
very
Yeah.
humble.
He must be saving it. He must be saving it for this conversation.
He must be. Oh my goodness, he's probably like, he would know. You know, Alina's probably gonna come back for that.
Absolutely.
But Bernard was here too. No one said anything. But anyway, that's cool. That's cool. Because
Yeah.
he's a really cool guy. They all went to school together though.
Yeah.
They all went to Dunbar. That must have been a hell of a class.
Yeah, it
at
was,
Dunbar.
I'm telling you, it was awesome. Bernard, BJ, Nikki didn't necessarily go to Dunbar, but she's a local talent. Everybody know her and love her, and we're just excited to be able to have someone who had some WNBA experience be able to lead our females. I mean, because the dynamics of the game is totally different, right?
Yes.
Women stay on the perimeter. Fundamentally, they're a little more solid. Guys are just trying to dunk, be more slashers. So it's really humbling to the guys to be able to be out there with women because the game might slow down a tad, but they can speed it up too. They still crashing boards and doing all that too. You feel me?
Okay, see, I was getting ready to ask you about the crashing boards.
Oh, they going
part.
hard, too.
I mean,
Yeah,
do you have? Come on, Devon. Do you have anybody that kind of is like, wait a minute, do I want to go up against that 6'8" dude?
not at all. I mean, the women. I mean, when they see the player, they just see players. They don't see men. I mean, they out there to win. You know, and the thing about it is, it's not like the guys are going to take it easy on the females because they don't want to get embarrassed.
Right.
And the women want to show the guys, look, I can play.
Yes,
And
yes.
because you're a male, that doesn't mean anything. Let's get it. You know, so again, you know, it's one thing to hear about the concept,
Yes.
but to actually experience it, I mean, it's nothing like this. So again, you know, we're just blessed, you know, fortunate to be in position really to be at the forefront of history. You know,
Yes.
this is serious, and we're just grateful to be a part of
Wow.
this. Yes.
Wow,
And
that's
again, you know, just want to
awesome.
give, you know, a big shout out and salute to, you know, our CEO James Scott, you know, for having a vision, you know, to have men and women come together. You know, so again, without his vision, and only the vision, but you know, just putting his vision into action. So again, we're just glad that, you know, he didn't allow no one to deter him or, you know, discourage him. He's been moving forward, and we've been, you know, right there with him side by side.
Wow. Speak about his vision, though. I'm sure you guys have had some level of conversation with
Absolutely.
him about what spirited him or what motivated him
Yeah.
to want to create this or
You know, we
be a
were
part of this.
Yeah, you know, we're in a season of equality, right? With the whole Me Too movement and things like that. I mean, women feeling like they work extremely hard and should deserve equal pay as men. And at the same token, just never really had that platform. We're seeing a lot of female coaches
Okay.
now come on the scene and really start to be more in a commentator role, just like you doing your thing, right? High five
Yes.
all day long. And so now it is almost an equal footing, you know, ground. And so now, you know, the CEO, Mr. James Scott, has put his emotions to the table in application and say, let's go ahead and put that out in the forefront and created that platform. And so, you know, Tiny, who was in Atlanta, was our first
Okay.
owner.
She's the first owner. Okay,
yeah.
that's T.I.'s wife.
Exactly.
That's there. Okay.
Yeah, she owns the Atlanta team. Master P is the president of the league. He co-owns the New Orleans Gators team.
Oh, he owns the New Orleans. Okay, because I had it wrong in the beginning. But okay, so he owns the New Orleans
Yes,
team.
he's a president of the league, and James Scott is the CEO.
Is
Yeah.
the CEO.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we got
okay,
some
that's
other
how it
great
works.
people.
It's a lot of great people. I mean, Egypt. I mean, Audrey. I mean, so there's a lot of people behind the scene. You know, this, you know, working diligently to make this happen, and we're seeing it come to fruition as we speak.
Yeah.
so we're excited.
Wow.
And Ice-T just picked up the New York team. So, I mean,
Did
when you really
he?
Yeah, so it's quite a
think
few
about the
people
players
involved.
that came to the table. Trick Daddy and Trina own the Miami team. Ice-T just picked up the New York team.
The New York team. It is
Yeah.
really spreading.
Yes.
So how many states is it in now?
It's in
This league?
6 currently.
Six
It's in
and-
six.
It'll be 2
Okay.
more teams before the season starts
Okay.
at the tail end of the summer.
Okay.
And we got an amazing event coming up at the tail end of April in Shreveport, Louisiana.
You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, it's gonna
what?
be.
You don't want to miss it.
It's gonna be huge.
Really?
Oh,
okay, talk
absolutely.
to us about that, Dawn.
Okay, well, it's going to be a huge event. It's going to be April 26th weekend, 26th to the 28th. It's actually the 27th. It's going to be a double hitter. You know, you talking about, you know, Ice-T, his team is Ice-T and Mike Benzo will be up against Masterpiece team. We got Tiny
really?
with Atlanta. She's going to be going against Trick Daddy and Trina. So it's going to be a huge weekend. I mean, they're dedicating this to some fallen soldiers. I mean, they're giving back to the community. There's going to be some health initiatives. So it's going to be a lot of things happening that weekend. So it's not just about basketball. It's a movement, you know. So, again, to be a part of this movement, you know, this bigger than basketball, you know, it's just phenomenal.
Wow, that's exciting. So this is going to be the whole entire weekend?
Well,
Or
that
events,
Friday. Well,
or-
Friday is going to be a boxing match. but
Showtime is
Showtime
going
boxing match. But
Okay.
Saturday is the actual double hitter event. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
so that is
Saturday
the
is the
big
double
that's the
header.
big day you all do not want to miss. And again, if you can't be there physically, they're going to be showing it on Zingo. You know, so you can kind of go to GMGB website and they can give you the information on how you guys can actually watch it. Although you won't be there physically, but definitely you don't want to miss it.
Wow, that's awesome. So this is going to be, wait, what state was that?
In
In
Shreveport,
Louisiana.
In Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yes.
Okay. And you said who owns the New Orleans team?
So Master P
Okay.
is the co-owner of the New Orleans team. He also is the president of the league.
Okay.
And Ice-T owns the New York team.
Okay.
Trick Daddy and Trina is Miami.
Right.
Tiny owns Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And we have ourselves here at Washington
And
Fusion.
you'll
And we
hear
have
about soon, yeah.
a new celebrity co-owner partner too. Many of you guys might know Anwar Glover, or better known, a.k.a. locally.
Big G.
It's Big G.
Yeah.
That's our partner.
Yes.
And we're
or
excited.
Slim. No,
Yeah.
Slim.
Yeah.
That be him.
Yeah.
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 Slim on
Yeah.
The Wire.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and everything else, a lot of other things he got going on. And,
Yes,
so
and
we're
then
excited.
obviously he's done some shows with KYS too
Yep.
for a
Awesome.
long time.
Yeah.
That's how kind of like I know him. I know him through like the radio scene a little bit, and then I knew him from like WPGC. But
Okay.
I haven't seen him in so long, so I
right.
wish him the best. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So
Well, you guys gonna see him. I mean, you guys might see him on stages, might see him on screen, but now you guys gonna really see him in this element in the basketball space, and he's really excited. We're excited to have him a part of our ownership team.
Wow. Okay, so are you guys gonna go down to Shreveport? You guys will be there.
Absolutely.
We're gonna represent big time. Our staff, Nikki, Bernard,
Everybody will
BJ,
be down
and
there.
Big G will be there.
We all going on.
Yeah, we're gonna represent
We
because
gonna
the winner
represent.
got to come see us, Washington Fusion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
So we
get
ready for
the
that.
next year. Right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
probably in June.
No, it's
June,
coming up
July.
soon. So the winner of
Oh.
those games, they got to come see us.
We're gonna have one more exhibition game.
Yeah.
This is an
Oh.
exhibition game.
These are exhibition games.
Getting prepared for the season
For the
to start.
season.
That's correct.
Yes,
Okay,
get everybody ready.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we got the winners, and we don't care who win. All we're gonna say is DC mean don't come because y'all gonna get it.
Yeah,
DC,
you know basketball.
DC don't come.
Everything basketball comes out of DC.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
you
that's
already
the
know.
truth. No, I mean,
Kevin
please.
Durant, Victor Oladipo.
I
you
mean,
already
the
know.
list goes
Markel
on.
Fultz, you already know.
There is so much basketball that comes out of here. I mean, AAU is so strong here.
Absolutely.
It's so strong. And then they recruit out of this area too.
Absolutely.
But it also, to a certain extent, if you can't be the top of the line around
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
sometimes it's a
That's
little
it.
hard too.
That's
Because
it.
it's nothing but stars that
Yep.
come out of DC.
You already
So
know.
I mean, it's a little rough. But we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk to Derek and Dewan about ownership, about entrepreneurship. And we're going to talk about improving community relations because I think it's important to have a conversation about community relations whenever we can, especially for two individuals like the two guys next to me that are doing so much in our community on so many levels, even from a business perspective outside of the Washington Fusion. They do a lot of positive things in our community. So it's important that we connect those dots for people who can't connect them sometimes for themselves. And I always say that if I have a mic in front of me, I'm going to always do my job to send the right messages into the community and to make sure that people think, and rethink their decisions. Okay? So I'll be right back with The Hustle. Don't go anywhere.
Hey.
Let's play some hockey. Stars Blues Game 3, series tied at 1. Well, Blues wins have been nail-biting finishes.
History, Jeff. Okay, your game will be the opening game of the Nat Stadium.
Clearly, the Wizards are not the same team that they were in the beginning of this season. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with. You could see the defending champions here tonight playing a back and forth game all night long. And they say that basically he influenced, Muhammad Ali. And he said, listen, would you...
A second, but I just wish that you could elaborate a little bit more about what it felt like to go through that elimination game, and given that opportunity this year, how would you guys do it differently? If you both could answer the question, I'd appreciate it.
Well, differently is coming into this season without having knee surgeries and everybody being healthy. That's the key for our team. Hurt.
He left 93 seconds into the first quarter. He collided with a teammate and hurt his left knee. Don't know what's going to happen for the future with the playoffs, but anyway, Kevin Durant never returned back to the game.
Hey everybody, I'm Alina Neves, courtside at Capital One Arena where the Washington Wizards, who are 9-5, take on the Miami Heat, who are 6-8. Now, as you know, the Washington Wizards beat the Heat in Miami, so tonight's going to definitely be a revenge for the Miami Heat.
And the big scorer tonight was Bradley Beal with 24 points and 8 assists, as well as Otto Porter. Well, he had 23 points. He was just extraordinary tonight, very clutch. And Thomas Sadaransky, who's in for John Wall, he's still out dealing with his knee. Well, he had 10 assists. He is definitely stepping up as their starting point guard. Anyway, a great win. Talked to Scott Brooks. He said tonight the game plan was just basically to step up defensively and to make the 76ers make mistakes. And that's exactly what the Washington Wizards did tonight. A great game and a much needed win for them, especially in this series. They tied up 2 apiece now with the 76ers. Important game as they approach playoffs and playoff seeding. Washington goes down to Cleveland in their first game against the NBA champions at home, 95-104. John Wall finished up with 28 points while Markieff Morris had 20 points. It was a great night for the Wizards despite the fact that they were without their shooting guard. Bradley Beal had injured his hamstring in the game against Boston. He had to sit this one out. A tough one, but one that the Wizards could definitely.
Hey guys, anyway, it's your girl Lena 7. Welcome back to The Hustle.
Hey.
Yes, we have Derek Smith and Dwan Summers, co-owners of the Washington Fusion Pro Basketball League.
GMGB.
Yes. Anyway, so guys, just to kind of put a neat bow on the Washington Fusion before we transition to some other discussions. Just tell us real quick, when does the season kick off? How do people get tickets? How do people find out information?
I got you.
All of that stuff.
Yeah, you guys can go to globalmixedgenderbasketball.com. Take a look at the information. We got some phenomenal videos from some of our previous exhibition games. We had some actually our kickoff exhibition game here at Howard University, right down the street. So that was awesome. And you guys just be on the lookout. You guys can go to our Instagram page, Washington Fusion, Facebook page, Washington Fusion. We'll make sure we post updates, etc. The season should start somewhere between July, August, September.
Okay.
Once we get through these remaining exhibition games, just to create that brand awareness and market exposure, etc. And just be on the lookout. It'll be a 14-game season.
14 game
Yep,
season?
7 home,
Oh,
7
wow.
away. And so we'll be
Really?
doing some tryouts and things locally. I think we stack our roster with 4 WNBA and 4 NBA players or former. And then we'll have 4 local stars. And so if you guys know some local talent that may play college ball but didn't necessarily go to the pros, may have played overseas, this might be a great opportunity to showcase that talent. So
Okay,
we look
and
forward to
so do you guys post your tryouts?
yeah, absolutely.
On your website?
We
or-
post it, and also we even have it on the radio too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we'll make
you
sure
do?
that you get,
Oh, okay.
we'll make sure you get the information to share that good news too.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so cool. So, hey, there's so many opportunities for guys to play basketball in ways that we didn't have before.
Absolutely.
We have the G League now. You can try out for those leagues. There are your leagues.
The
I
big
mean,
3 with Ice Cube.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for guys to really work on their game and improve their skills.
Yeah, and it ain't over. I mean,
It's
you got
not
you got some
over,
talent
yeah.
that, I mean, you still might be in that 26, 28, and you still can flat out go. I mean, we can showcase that talent, and it can lead to, potentially an NBA contract or something like that, or it can lead to a Fusion contract. I mean, you never know.
And to your point too, I mean, you just named quite a few options that's out there, but not too many of them are geared towards women. And again, that's another thing that really highlights
Yes.
GMGB, because again, it's a great platform. I mean, for women. So again, that
Yes.
gender equality, we can really bridge that gap that should have been done a long time ago.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean, I come from a background of female athletes, so I know, and my mother was a female athlete who was denied that opportunity by her own father, who
Wow.
was a pro boxer. So
And your daughter's a great talent. I think she plays tennis or something too.
yeah,
right?
my daughter and my son, yes. One of them plays for NC State and the other one plays for Morehouse. So
Congratulations.
Yeah. That's
So
no small feat.
I'm actually going to Atlanta this weekend. Who knew that my twins, who were both like player of the week, I don't know how I had twins that both got voted player of the week during the
Wow.
same, she's just gotten it. She'll be like, yeah, but Mom, I got it 4 times in a row. But anyway.
Yeah, gender equality. Hey, he ain't no
Gender
bigger, no
equality,
better.
I'm like, PJ,
No stronger. Yeah.
But they both play this weekend. And my daughter plays Georgia Tech. So I'll actually be down there in Atlanta
Cool.
this weekend attending both of their matches. So it'll be a lot of fun that I get to see.
Well, congratulations
both
in
of them
advance.
play.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. But just to kind of switch gears a little bit, because I think you guys are so are doing so many things in the community, and you help so many people. I mean, this league right here, helping to bridge the gap between female athletes and male athletes, you can't get any better than that. You can't get any closer than that. But to present a mixed gender pro league, which is awesome, and to have a head female coach,
Hey,
and that's
Nikki.
another
That's
one,
powerful.
right?
That's Pat running the show.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, that's great too. I mean, so when you guys think about that, and we think about at the other spectrum, the Nipsey Hussle and how he was, gunned down in our own community, how does that make you guys think about your responsibility as entrepreneurs?
We all have a story, and we never know when that storyline may expire, and it's really important for us to
that's an
maximize the
interesting
time, right?
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes people live their lives with no purpose, and so therefore you wake up oftentimes feeling like it got to be a better way, or is it more to life than this? And then once you truly find your purpose and you walk in that thing, nothing can stop you. And Nipsey was one that he stood for something. I
Yes.
mean, all his music he owned, all the rights to all his music. Not only was it about music, but his talent stretched across so many other lines that impacted so many people. And I think that's really what it's all about. It's not about how high you can go, it's how many people you can bring along with you.
With you.
And that's what success is all about, because a man, in leadership without people following him is just a man taking a walk by himself.
Yeah.
And so success happens as a team. And so Team Fusion and all that we represent, we represent a community of not just athletes, but people. Saying that you can go out and be great.
Yes.
And so in light of that, Nipsey stood for that. And, we want to represent that same type of impact in the work that we do.
Right. Duan, what do you say about that? You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Again, I'm just thinking about what, to kind of piggyback on what Dirk said. I mean, about the impact, knowing that, it's bigger than individuals. It's about the communities. They say it takes, a village to raise a family, So again, about all of us coming collectively together and again, making the most impact we can. Again, you never know your time, but again, you want to maximize the time you have while you're here.
While you're here.
So again,
Yeah.
GMGB, we say it's basketball, but it's bigger than basketball. We're doing a lot of things in the community. We had back in March, we had where it was a diabetes awareness where people came and got screened. That's a big epidemic, in our
Wow,
community.
that's
You're talking about
huge.
diabetes, So again, we want to make sure that, we spread that awareness about diabetes, high blood pressure, you name it, So again, it's making sure, that, we're bringing the good news not only about basketball, but making sure our community as a whole are aware and informed so we don't make, ill-advised decisions.
Right, exactly. Is there any way to send a message to put the guns down? Can we just put the guns down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it takes for those who have influence to lead that charge
Yes.
and to just to mediate. those discussions. I mean, oftentimes celebrities are out in the forefront, but the messaging of what they're sharing could be a little bit different. And I think we all play a part of that. I mean, that's really, really important to be able to let our young people know that your life is worth so much more than today. And we in a short-term thinking society where people can't manage their emotions. They can't manage their frustration. So therefore, things get taken out of context and out of control. And so we just got to continue to be a voice and make a difference. I mean, where we are now is business professionals. I mean, we didn't always have jackets on. And loafers on.
Right.
And so it was a process for us. It was a learning process for us. But, through God's grace, you make some decisions, you do some things well, you pick up, you go, you move, you learn, you be accountable, and you can go out and recognize the sky is the limit.
So just talk about what it was like then, back before you were suited with the, the cute little look, the loafer and the whole look going on.
I grew up, and DeJuan can attest, my mom had me as a teenager.
Oh, wow.
And so I didn't really have a lot growing up. I moved 12 times before I was 18 years old. And so I was forced to be social. And, DeJuan and I met in college, our second year in college, and we built a relationship, and we took some of the school loan money that we had. We opened up a retail store together when we was 18 years old. And so our college years was built upon not necessarily being there for the academic experience, but to go out and be business professionals at a young age. And, I graduated, and fortunate enough, I came home. I opened up a RE/MAX, a real estate office when I was pretty young, was president of Real Estate Association for a couple years. And through that type of storyline for myself, it just led to some great relationships that led us to here where we are. We just been rock solid for 25 years, and iron sharpens iron. That's how we move. I think everybody needs somebody in their life like that, where you can just be you. There's no judgments. There's no criticisms. We can just be real with it and hold each other accountable when we stand.
Wow, what made you guys do that at 18?
I mean,
wow.
Hey, what's the show called? The Hustle, right?
This is the hustle.
Our hustle game.
We always had a hustle game in us. Although again we went to school, and I was fortunate to go to college. I was the first one to go to college in my family. So for me, it wasn't more so getting that diploma, or it was more so showing those behind me, you can do it if you want to. I always had a mindset, look, I'd rather be my own boss. I'm not really looking to work for nobody else. If I got to work for somebody else, it's going to be temporary. But again, I always want to create something for myself as well as my family. So again, I know I couldn't do that with typical 9 to 5. And again, I don't no judgment to those who work a 9 to 5, because again, it meets whatever they trying to accomplish. But for me and Dirk, we always been entrepreneurs. So again, being in this entrepreneur space, this is normal for us. We understand that, being an entrepreneur, everyone isn't going to see your vision. But again, that's not their vision. So when it's not their vision, you can't get distracted or derailed because somebody else don't believe in you. They don't have the same foresight to know where you're going. You just got to say, look, I'm going there no matter what. And again, when you move that way, that's going to engender the confidence people need to know, look, they're on to something. Regardless of what people feel, like we know where we're going.
Right.
And again, as Dirk mentioned, we hold each other accountable. And again, it's a blessing to have somebody that you can have like that, because that's hard to come by.
And I remember one quick story. When we was 18, we had just opened up the store. And we said, man, we need some more exposure. And I said, well, look, Mike Tyson is fighting in Vegas, man, in 2 months. Let's just go ahead and book a ticket, man, and let's get out there so we can get in the mix of the people.
Yes.
And it was that trip right there that really created this visualization in our mind that where we was trying to go, we were surrounded with those people that got there. And that pushed us harder and harder and harder. And I don't think since then we missed one Mike Tyson fight from 18 to 25 years old.
Wait, so y'all used to be in the fights when you'd be knocking people
Man,
out?
we was young. We was
and I'm just thinking about too, what he mentioned about the store. We had a T-shirt, and you mentioned about the guns. We had a shirt that said, "Put down the guns, pick up the gloves." Boxing gloves, go back to the old days. Look, don't be scared to take a whooping or give one, But these days, unfortunately, our youth, they don't have that mindset. They're worried about what somebody's gonna think if they lose a fight. They want to be quick to pick up a gun to take somebody's life. But when they took that person's life, they took their own life, because now they're away for life.
That's
2 lives.
Yes. Oh, say
so
that
that's 2
again.
lives. So people don't think that way.
Yes.
And that's real,
they
man.
They took their own life too.
They took their own life too.
That needs to
Suicide.
be on shirts. I'm sorry, you need to put that. You take one life, you take your own life.
I mean, listen, for real, if it was a situation where every time that you experienced frustration, you had an outlet, and you talked about it, you'll realize the stuff that you frustrated about is not even really a big deal for real. And sometimes our tolerances are so small, our maturity level measures that, so we react on that. And so we just got to do a better job of just managing our emotions and
Coping.
And I like to say disciplining our disappointments. Because if you can discipline your disappointments, it doesn't allow you to get aroused so easily. Every little thing, it ain't that serious. Pain don't last forever. Get over it, keep it moving, like that boxer that get knocked down. He got 10 seconds to get up and get back into that fight. Like life is the same way, because we all taking punches, we all taking body shots, we all reacting to something. Like you got to get over it and keep it moving. Life is too short.
It. They say weeping may endure for a moment, but what? Joy comes in the morning. So just knowing that pain doesn't last long. You know?
Absolutely.
So, turn your pain or that passion to a purpose. So it's just all out of your perspective. People see things differently. For me, I don't allow things I don't have control over to control me. You got to recognize, look, I don't have control over that, so why am I allowing that to control me? So it's just perspective.
It's just perspective. And I go, gosh, where in his psyche did he feel that he had to not come back one time, but come back 3 times to take this man out? Where in your psyche, was that okay?
Yeah, and to take yourself out.
And to take yourself out.
Took yourself out.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we've got to show. It doesn't matter if you come from a single mother who's 15 and you haven't seen much of the world. We see kids all the time become somebody. When I'm a single parent, I see life through single parenting eyes. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
it's not easy, but we gotta figure out how we can send messages all the time and speak to our community.
Yeah, and I think in part, real-time transparency, I like to say, right? A lot of people don't have substantive relationships in their lives where they can be fully open and transparent and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm struggling with something. I'm frustrated about this. I need some therapy. I need some help. And I just need to talk about it, because most people walk in isolation and they carry around all them transgressions from growing up, all them things we went through as a child, and then you grow up and you haven't fought all them demons that's just chasing you around. And so in light of that, you will have a buildup of all these things, and then boom, it get acted upon. And that's one thing I appreciate about my man. We've been friends for 25 years. But it's never a pocket in my life where I feel like I can't pick up the phone and say, look, I'm struggling with something. This is what I'm thinking about. How should I think about that? Boom, 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 and work through it that way. And I already know he's going to give it back to me in love. We protect each other that way.
Yeah.
And if more people have protections, more people, make wiser decisions.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
I'm like in church. Amen.
I know. I feel like that's what I'm
real.
doing here today. Amen. And I know my sister's texting me saying, "Oh, this is a great show."
Yeah, no, that's real.
I know she's saying that because she loves this type of messaging, and I love it too. But just speak real quick, and I don't want to get off this subject so quickly, because I think it is really important to have these conversations about our young kids who make these types of decisions in the world, and that we got to find some love for these kids and figure out how to transfer our love and our care to them. And that's important, and I know that. So I just wanted to say that before I transition. But just to speak real quick about, as owners, you guys are owners of a professional league. That's a rarity. Okay, that's a real rarity. So you went from a clothing store, okay? You went from a single parent household, young mother, to owning a pro team. Okay, we gotta. Okay, we gotta check the box on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we don't take it for granted, man. I mean,
Yeah.
growing up for me, I've been a sports fan all my life. I remember when Georgetown was at the Capitol Center, and I used to watch Patrick Ewing and Sherman Douglas and all of them, and try to sneak in the back door. And I always felt like, as a sports enthusiast, at some point I would love to have my hand in a sports franchise. And we see on a professional level, especially us as minorities, we're not in a position where we can have our hand in it, right? Usher might have a small hand in something. Nelly might have a small hand in something. Jay-Z, Jason Kidd. It's a small hand in something, but not big hands. Obviously, small means a lot in the grand scheme of millions of dollars, but it's
Right.
rare that you
Yes.
just find that situation start from the beginning. And so, it's everything is a leap of faith, and time and in position is everything. So we don't take it for granted at all.
Owners, Duan, you are owner.
Yeah,
What
by
does
God's
that say to
grace.
you?
It's just humbling, Again, just humbling to know that we didn't miss a moment. I always say, you can get back money, but you can't get back moments. So I'm just glad that me and my partner, we recognized it right away. We didn't have to second guess, and we just took it, full steam ahead and haven't looked back, regardless of those naysayers or you always want to come across those things in your life, but you just got to remain focused, know where you're going,
Right.
with or without nobody. And when you get there, they're gonna wish they was there.
Yes,
So
yes.
we just grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as owners, how
And being able to have our celebrity partner owner with us now too. We've been very selective. We actually came on board before Master P became public. So we was
okay.
we
I
had
didn't
faith
know
in
that.
this before that, and we pretty much was just doing what we supposed to do. But didn't have a celebrity to represent us permanently, because we selective on who we want to really be a face for our team and be a partner. And that's why when we had that conversation with Anwan Glover and his team, it just made sense because he is DC. He represents us in a great way. And again, it's not just about basketball. He's about the community as well. So now we can publicly say, we have a real celebrity partner, to represent Washington Fusion for the first time, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome because, as we know, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Big G is really well known in our community.
Very instrumental.
Because he's one of the founding members, right, of the Backyard Band.
Mm-hmm.
He's also played Slim on The Wire.
Yep.
But he's also, I believe, lost a sibling. He's also been shot at. He's had, it's been well documented, his life. He's had some challenges that I think he can be somebody that this community identifies with. He inspires this community. He speaks the language, and people listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
People listen.
You
when he
figure,
speaks.
and when you talk about success, you got to talk about longevity.
Yes.
Right, it's easy to have a good run, right? You can have a good run for a month, for a year, but we talk about the Backyard Band was birthed 20 years ago. And so in light of that, it opened up doors and avenues, and he's still walking strong, standing strong. And so that longevity was attractive to us on top of just the person that he is. And knowing his passion and commitment to represent our city, mirrors ours. So we're just thankful and excited about what's to come. So be on the lookout because some big things about to happen for real.
Yes, I love that. Plus, I'm a hometown girl, so I went to Duke Ellington. I remember the streets of Georgetown with these guys, playing and all of that stuff. Trust me, I go way back. I'm so DC. I wasn't born in DC, but I feel like I was because I went to Duke Ellington, went to Howard. So, DC has been a part of my house, and I grew up just down the street, 6 and 0, and O Street Market. All of that was like my running area. I don't know why, but anyway, Berry Farms. All my friends from Duke Ellington was lived at Berry Farms, so I was all around DC when DC was really wild and crazy, but it just had so much to offer back then, So anyway, you guys, I've had so much fun having you guys on the show today.
It's been a
Tell
pleasure.
everyone once again how they can reach out to the Washington Fusion. Anything else you want to promote? Now's your opportunity.
Yeah, so you guys, again, you can go to globalmixedgenderbasketball.com, globalmixedgenderbasketball.com. You can follow us at Washington Fusion at Instagram, Facebook. You guys going to be hearing a lot about our upcoming exhibition game coming soon and a lot of what we got going on. Be on the lookout for tryouts and things of that such. And just know gender equality is put out in the forefront. And we want to be able to create that duality where men and women can coexist. And it's going to be something you've never seen before.
Okay, and you?
That's it. Equal play, equal pay.
That's it.
Equal
it.
play, equal pay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Any websites you guys want to talk about real quick?
Well, those are two main websites at the moment. Like you said, you can go to IG Washington Fusion, Facebook Washington Fusion, and our corporate Global Mixed Gender Basketball one. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Corporate Global. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Great.
All right. So right now, you guys are just preparing for April.
April 26th.
April 27th.
Shreveport.
Shreveport. For my Texas folks, if you live in Dallas, it's only 2 hours away from Dallas. It's 5 hours from New Orleans, but it's all good. You can go ahead and book your flight. Showtime doing a big boxing event on Friday night, and then on Saturday we'll be televising the game on Comcast and some other local outlets as well. And yeah, let's rock and roll.
All right.
It's
What do you
showtime.
guys think about the Washington Wizards?
I mean,
Looking
Hey,
up
look,
to
hey,
them
look,
next
hey, look.
season or what?
Hey, look, Ernie Grenfell gave us 16 years of not a whole lot, right?
Right.
And so now it's just a new day. We kind of in that transition period. A lot of big time free agents are now coming up, so hopefully we can grab one to come alongside. Bradley Beal just gave John Wall that monstrous contract, and so we got to be able to put it together. We got some pieces, and I think we'll be all right. So hopefully this draft goes well. So we'll see.
All right.
I like Scott Brooks though. I like his energy, enthusiasm. I think just Ernie just was a little old school, so we gotta get some new blood in here.
New blood. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Come on. Yeah. Okay. Great. Hey guys, you know that tonight is the last night for the Washington Wizards 2018-2019 season. They playing the Boston Celtics just down the street. So if you get a chance, definitely tune in. This is going to be it for this season. So there's going to be a lot of changes going on. I'm telling you now. I already know about some of them. But anyway, I ain't going to say nothing. But anyway, don't forget, in a few weeks, I may not be here next week, but we're going to have some fun. I'll let you know who's going to be hosting my show next week. And then the week after, look out for the Capital City Go-Go head coach. He told me he's coming, so I'm going to hold him to it. So we'll see if he definitely holds true. I'm looking forward to that. Guys, don't go anywhere. We got a great show coming up. We the shirts coming up. Anyway, it's your girl, Alina 7. Don't forget, tune in to
Washington
the hustle. This is where all the action is. Yes.
Every day we hustling.
The Hustle,
That's it,
Tuesdays, 6
Hey.
p.m. Join us each and every Tuesday right here. It's your girl. See y'all later.
Peace, Team Fusion.
Peace.